Everyone good to go?
Yep.
Cool. Starters. Ian, what's the top?
Tim, job done pretty convincingly, pretty happy?
Yeah, pretty happy. I think anytime you win a test match inside 4 days, it's always very pleasing. I think it was a pretty good effort set up by the batters on day one.
Was that kind of how you thought things might pan out today? You obviously had, I suppose, probably a little bit of a boost by the cloud cover in the morning, but Mitchell was talking yesterday about how you expected it to be a sort of a real typical day 4 grind to get through them.
I think we knew it was going to be hard work on that surface. A little bit of cloud cover was nice this morning, and I think the efforts from the batters in that last session yesterday allowed us to obviously push the run rate on. The bowlers had a bit of a rest and have a night's sleep and come into today fresh. So it was nice to. I guess the cloud cover was nice, but just to have no wind was also nice for that first session. And I think I think we took wickets at the start of each session, which was very pleasing and that little burst after lunch where KJ removed the two set batters was, I guess, a crucial moment of the day.
Expectations for this test were quite high on your side, given South African strength, so therefore nice to feel that you've really done the job of what was expected from you.
Yeah, I guess there was a lot of talk around it before the test, but we had 3 days preparation, which the boys trained exceptionally well. Got together as a test group. We haven't played Test cricket in New Zealand. A lot of the focus was on us and about how we wanted to approach the test week. So I think it's pleasing. We know that any South African sports team is going to fight. They're very passionate people, and we knew that they were going to be up for it over this test match.
And as you say, Kyle looked sharp for a guy that hasn't played a lot of cricket the last sort of 6 weeks or so, and also sort of won the battle for the Neil Wagner impersonation there later on as well too.
Yeah, he jumped on the back of the work tees and I did before tea. No, it was he's great to see him back. He's obviously had a tough 12 months with injury and to see him come back, and he was unlucky not to walk away with the bag, but I'm sure he'll be chuffed with the way that he was able to get through this test match, and I'm sure he's excited about the weeks to come.
Tim, how do you rate the future of Test cricket based on the circumstances presented here with South Africa coming as they have?
I think it's a unique situation with the timing of and the scheduling of the series. I think if you look at the Test game, it's as exciting as it's ever been. We're privileged to see that a week or so ago, two great Test matches. I think you cast your mind back over the last couple of years. There's been some amazing tests that have played out, and I think for all the players that play it, they love it. It's for me, it's the pinnacle, and I hope there's a way to keep the appetite and the fans engaged in the format.
There's been a conscious effort. I mean, it seems good that New Zealand's moving with adding some youth, some fresh energy to the side through the likes of Rachin Ravindra and also Glenn Phillips through this testing, also in Bangladesh.
I guess it's Rachin, I think, as we've seen over the last 6 months or so, he's a special talent, and I think he showed in this test match what he's capable of, and I'm sure he's got a bright future. And Glenn's got a different track to making the Test team. Obviously debuting a few years back as a batter, and then turning himself into a spinning option as well as his batting adds to, especially when you come to a ground like here where it's slightly different to the other Test venues around the country. Also KJ is still reasonably young. Mitch Satner, it's pleasing to see him come back into the Test side and have some success over his last couple of Test matches as well.
Tim, how did it feel having 3 different spinners at your disposal in a home test?
Yeah, I guess with one frontline spinner and 2 guys that can offer you an option in the top 7 as well, which is like I say, on this surface a nice combo to have, and they all sort of chipped in throughout the Test match as well. Rachin picking up a couple in the first innings, and Glenn chipping in the second innings around Mitch's work as well. So I guess it's a luxury of having guys in the top order that can offer you options with the ball as well.
How would you rate the competitiveness of this test versus the first one 2 years ago, where you won by an innings down Christchurch?
Different, I think. Obviously, different personnel, different ground. Here is a different venue to the other test venues in New Zealand, it's, I guess every test match is slightly different.
Tim, is there anything different you'd like to try at Seddon, with perhaps not in Australia, or is it just a case of repeating what worked out here?
No, we'll enjoy this win. We'll go to Seddon. It'll offer something different at Seddon Park, I'd imagine, to what they produced here. So I guess it's about picking a balanced side that you think will do the job over the 5 days in Hamilton.
And is there anything differently you'd like to see from the openers if they're a bit shorter runs at the moment, or is it just a case of trusting the process with those guys?
No, I think just trusting in the two quality players that have done a hell of a job for us for a period of time. They like I said, we all had great 3 days preparation. I'm sure they'll be hungry for runs like they are every time they go out to bat. But we know that they're quality batters, and they're not far away from a score. That's for sure.
So just a couple from me. One pick up on talking about Glenn and the way he's sort of developed to come back into the test side. You've seen up close the work that he's done, often in white ball tours and different scenarios, bowling in fact often to you in the nets at the end of net sessions and things like that. What's impressed you about the work that Glenn's put into adding that string to his bow?
I think just the willingness and the keenness to bowl. Obviously started his career as a keeper that could bat, and he's obviously always been able to bat, but to give up the keeping and really have a passion for bowling. He loves it. He bowls more than anyone else at trainings. He gets his batting done, and then he can't wait to get that ball in his hand. So I think just his love to get better and to turn himself into, like when he started as a keeper to now playing a test match and being a bowling option, I think is credit to him.
And then just lastly for me, just touching on Kane, obviously another one you've had sort of a close-up view of for his entire career, but then in the last 12 months when he's had a number of different situations, whether it's his knee or his hamstring, and then his thumb at the World Cup, to be able to each time he's come back and be in the form that he's in and make the contributions to the team, what have you made of that for him over the last 12 months?
I don't really know how to sum it up. I think the injuries he's had and just to be able to get back from obviously his knee and the time that he did was a phenomenal achievement. And then to go on and play the way he's played, 6 Test hundreds in his last 6 Test matches is like I say, it's pretty impressive. But it's no fluke. We know how hard he trains, how much time he puts in, and his love for batting. So. It's very, very pleasing to see him be able to do what he's done in the last wee while. Not only come back from injury, but to be able to come back and be a better player than what he was before is pretty phenomenal.
Cool. Wrap it up there. Thanks, everyone.